Welcome back to the Global War Watch Network. Before we dive in, make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an update. Today, we are auditing the ultimate British safety net. If a worst-case scenario hits, can the UK actually defend itself without the United States? Slide point 1, the political reality. A US president can't just single-handedly erase America's NATO membership overnight. That requires congressional backing. But a commander-in-chief could order a quiet quitting of the alliance. Quiet quitting means America stays on the paperwork, but physically pulls back its key personnel, specialized aircraft, and daily operational support from Europe. The alliance exists in name, but the gears stop turning. This is a major problem for British forces right now, with Washington increasingly focused on the Indo-Pacific and managing flare-ups in the Middle East. The UK is stretched incredibly thin across its own global deployments. If you look closely, the UK's current military posture rests heavily on American scaffolding. To understand exactly how exposed Britain really is, we have to run a complete dependency audit. Point 2. Command, control, and enablers. Enablers is a military catch-all term for the invisible logistics, the transport planes, the surveillance, the communications backbone required to move and coordinate an army. The United States has an enormous fleet of transport aircraft. By contrast, the Royal Air Force operates just 9 C-17 heavy lift planes. It takes dozens of flights just to move a single Patriot missile battery, meaning Britain simply doesn't have the vehicles to move heavy armor across Europe on its own. Beyond the hardware, the actual coordination centers, the core operational hubs of NATO, are largely staffed and run by American personnel. Without those American enablers, British troops and their European allies effectively lose the ability to deploy, move, or coordinate large-scale operations in a crisis. Point 3. The air power trap. The F-35 fighter jet is currently the pinnacle of modern UK air combat capability, but there's a hidden catch. Britain relies on a shared, American-controlled logistics network and software update system to maintain these jets. If Washington cut that cord, the UK would struggle to keep its own F-35s in the sky over an extended period. Point 4. Intelligence and space. While the UK provides incredibly valuable human and signals intelligence to the Five Eyes alliance, it has a massive blind spot when it comes to orbital surveillance. This chart compares massive US surveillance data feeds entering NATO against minimal European space assets. The UK relies entirely on Washington for high-resolution orbital imagery. Realizing this flaw, the Ministry of Defense is launching its own satellite constellation to close the gap. Modern warfare is driven by geospatial data. Right now, the UK's primary eyes and ears in the sky are effectively rented from Washington. Point 5. The nuclear deterrent. This is the ultimate test of a nation's military independence. To be clear, the UK completely owns its nuclear warheads. British commanders have the operational authority to fire them without asking anyone else for permission. However, the delivery mechanisms, the Trident missiles carrying those warheads, are not British. They are leased from a shared pool maintained inside the United States. This integration goes right down to the hull. British strategic submarines are physically engineered around the precise dimensions of those American Trident missiles. To sever this link, Britain would have to design a fully sovereign missile and rebuild its entire submarine fleet from scratch, a project that would cost billions and face decades of delay. If a complete diplomatic rupture with the US ever happened, the UK's nuclear deterrent would be paralyzed until a generational rebuild was finished. Point 6. Forging European sovereignty. Britain is actively pursuing a blueprint to survive a potential American pullback. In the air, the UK has partnered with Japan and Italy on the Global Combat Air Program. The goal is to build a next-generation stealth fighter from the ground up, deliberately reducing reliance on American technology and supply chains. For immediate solutions, the military is looking at lessons from Ukraine. The UK is partnering with France on a new cruise missile called Stratus and investing in the domestic capacity to mass-produce cheap, AI-enabled combat drones. Still, the math is sobering. Attempting to completely replace the US military presence in Europe would cost hundreds of millions of pounds and require decades of uninterrupted focus. The UK cannot survive an American withdrawal by isolating itself. True security will only come from building a highly integrated, sovereign defense network alongside its European partners. Thank you, everyone, for giving us your time today. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the UK's defense strategy in the comments below. You can also find our social media links in the description. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.